Alrighty. There's a little bit of an issue with this guy's materials. I'm kind of weirded out by it. It should be, I think it's called like summon material or something like that. Yeah, summon. That's the material that he should be using everywhere, but he is not. It's like not very consistent. Anyway, that's a... also, is it because that material exists in like a weird location? That might be it. No, it's not. Really kind of weird why it does that. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today, because everybody in the Discord really likes to bully me, is we're going to be taking a look at the summon like allies. So most every, I don't know most every, but a lot of the enemies are going to have a allied version of their behavior. And the thing is, I didn't really like think this through when I came up with this idea. And now I have this idea, and it actually turns out to be a massive pain in the ass. So we'll figure it out, I'm sure. But it's a little bit more work than you'd think. So hopefully we'll figure it out. The thing is, and this is really what it comes down to, right? Is I would heavily prefer if I could make a behavior tree that would work for both versions of this dude, right? We've got the normal enemy version, and then we've got the version that we can spawn in. I would prefer not to have to make separate behavior trees for both of them, because that would effectively double my workload. Not quite, but nearly double my workload for every enemy that I make, because now with every enemy that I make, I need to also tweak the behavior tree for the allied version. And I didn't really want to do that. So we're already doing something a little bit different now, because it's not just an instance of the enemy itself with just a different material and like different tags. It is actually a separate blueprint. It's an actual like separate class to itself, because it is going to have some different behavior. You see what I mean, right? We have this dude over here, but if we look at his materials, I really need to get better at clicking the right mouse button. God damn it. If we look at his materials, the materials here are set to being summoned. But then he himself, it's just default materials. I don't know why it does that. It bothers me. And that also like goes through with, I don't know, man. Why does it do this? It's really weird. Maybe I just need to put this somewhere else. Where should I put this? I have like a materials folder. I think 3D models, animations, materials. Let's put it in there. Maybe just in a weird folder and it freaks out because of that. So let's reset. Even when I reset it, it's just rendering as its default. I don't know why it's doing this. But then when I update it, it does actually like update for a moment. And then when I compile, it goes back to this again. What the fuck? So yeah, I don't know why it does that. Is what it comes down to. It doesn't really matter though. But yeah, if we go, this is the summon base. We're going to pull off like a lot of child classes off of the summon base. For now, we're just testing with this one. And there's a couple of things that are different here, obviously, right? Because the enemy base blueprint, it also has like a C++ base class for the enemy. This one I don't think has a C++ base class. Maybe we should give it one. We always can reparent it to a C++ class if we need. Has a bunch more different things going for it, right? So in the enemy base class, let's actually, yep. In the enemy base class, we have this camera boom with the follow camera. That's not the thing that I wanted to do. There we go. Which we should get rid of anyway, because this is bad. I just talked about this a little bit in the Discord today. It's like actually horrible that I do this, so like we're gonna fix it at some point. But then it also has things like this look-on widgets, which the summon doesn't need. It has death particles and an HP bar, which I don't think the summons are going to need. The death particles maybe. The HP bar also maybe. The thing is, I don't know if the enemies or the allies, when you summon them, should they just exist for a certain amount of time? Or should they exist just like normal characters until they get killed? Just like they have an HP value and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking that it is better to just give them a timer. Just when they spawn in, 30 seconds later, they disappear. At which point, they don't really need an ability system, like an ability system component either. So we can get rid of that. So there's a bunch of things that are on the enemy that we don't like need straight up. This has an ability system component for the time being. I gave it in C++. I don't know that we're going to be using it necessarily. If nothing else, we might use it just to like apply gameplay effects. But that's not how that works at all, is it? Yeah, actually, I think we don't even need to have that. Maybe we do. It's a fantastic question. I actually don't know. We'll figure it out. So that's the basic rundown of what we're going to be doing. I fucking hate the fact that this dude, like, we don't need that one anymore either. So the first thing that we're going to do, I think, is I'm going to make an ability, and it's going to be a very easy ability, and the ability is just going to spawn in one of these summons, and then we can make a bunch of abilities of those to spawn in different summons. So if we go into the player somewhere, where is it? Oh, it's 3D models. Yeah, no. Characters, no. Oh, it's in blueprints, isn't it? Yeah, blueprints. What? It's supposed to be in here somewhere. I thought. Oh, blueprints, characters, player. I removed my saved folder, so first and foremost, all my saves are actually just straight up gone as well. So I need to make save games again. But also all my favorites are gone, which is a little bit annoying. Anyway, let's go into gameplay abilities, and we make a new gameplay ability real quick. And this will be very simple, and then we can start doing the actual AI stuff. I think I have some ideas as to how we're going to set this up. Anyway, Dragon Soul, good evening. Wish you better luck in the last video. What was the last thing that we did? It's been a wild weekend, man. I don't even have memories of what happened in the last stream. What did we do in the last stream? Oh, it was the attributes. Yeah, no. Oh, that was the attributes themselves actually weren't that bad. It was the animation stuff that we did, wasn't it? Gameplay ability, spawn, summon. And I guess we technically horrible. Hopefully today is going to go a little bit better, but I think it will. YouTube is also saying that I'm not receiving any data, but there's also... No, okay, it's good. Never mind. Okay, we commit ability. And then after we commit ability, we just spawn actor from class. That's really kind of all there is to it, I think. Promote it to a variable, class to spawn. And we'll change that from an actor class reference to a summon base. Oh, we do have a summon base in C++. Never mind, I'm just talking on my ass. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that way we'll only get shown classes that inherit from summon base. So that'll be good. And then the spawn transform will just be get avatar. What's that? Get avatar I wish it would automatically just get you a get actor location when you put this into a vector, but I guess it makes sense why it doesn't. Does it do it for a transform, actually? Because that might be kind of nice. Nope, it doesn't. There's much less reason for that to not work. Get actor location. Put that in there. And that's really all there is to it. There's not much more going on there, I don't think. It doesn't really matter what we do with collision because it doesn't even collide with the player anyway. Yeah, so let's make a child of this. Gameplay ability, summon basic demon. And then we'll also... Where does summon base even live? Can we find this in project in any convenient way? There we go. It's in the worst place possible. Where should we put this? I guess we can put it in Blueprint's player gameplay ability system for now, and then we'll relocate it later if we need to. Learn like a pro. Hello and welcome to the stream. Child Blueprint class, so this will be summon basic demon. And we'll just set the animation class and the skeletal mesh for this one to being nothing. So we actually set it in this one instead. So mesh will be basic demon. I maybe should revisit this particular character because it's a little outdated with all the improvements I've made over the last year in character creation. But then again, I'm sure that in the next year there's going to be even more improvements. So why bother? This basic demon is the thing, right? Yeah, cool. So we can compile that and then change this to summon material. Maybe it'll work now. So far, so good. Let's see if... Why? Why does it do that? I'm going to Google this real quick because this seems Unreal skeletal mesh materials revert to default when compiling character. Is it a... Wait. Usage section of the material. Does this have a... Yeah, use with skeletal mesh. So maybe you should just do what you should do. I don't know why it does this weird stuff. I think it's just an engine bug, to be honest with you. Because I don't think that on begin player or on construct we need to put in any code for this, because that would be absolutely ridiculous. But I also really think that this is GameDevCave, very basic questions. So yeah, I also don't think that we really should be wasting too much time on this. It's fine, you know? It's a little annoying, but what happens if this is actually a fantastic question. If I now pick this and put it into the level, the instances of it actually are fine. Except when I compile this, it updates all the instances. So that's kind of weird. But I guess that doesn't matter because none of the instances are actually going to be placed anyway. They're all going to spawn in. So that's actually kind of fine. Yeah, that's not that big a deal. So yeah, let's make a gameplay ability to spawn in that dude, eh? Summon basic demon. Summon basic demon. And that's kind of all there is to it. So now we make an item that allows us to do that. And I also created a item that I can put on the ground, so it's easy for me to like pick it up. Where do I have my items? Items. There we go. So, oh yeah. Also, for anybody who isn't in the Discord, we have some icons now that are generated with AI as placeholders. But the data assets now also show the icons in the editor, which is kind of neat. Only took me 2 hours to get that done, but it's kind of neat. It's kind of nice. I like it. So yeah, let's just like duplicate over one of these. What's the Control D? That makes sense. Summon basic demon spell. As you can see, it updates in real time. So if I just boom, there we go. It's really quite cool. And this will summon basic demon. Alrighty, and then I think I just put it in, yeah, world items. So this allows me to put in an item asset, which also shows these icons. This is the reason that I set this up, right? Because it's really nice to be able to just like see these spell icons in this drop-down menu and pick out things without needing to like read them. So that's kind of nice. And the items themselves, you might notice, also now have a color to go with them, which is the color of the like little pickup in the world when I place it down. I don't think it has capability to be picked up yet, though. I just realized. So let's see. Let's put this in the proper level, and then yeah, on overlap, let's cast to third-person character, get inventory, components, add items. For now, we'll just do this as one, and the item asset. Actually, do we have like a query? It's not query inventory. Do we have like space? I don't think I have that exposed as a thing. Inventory, private, components. Can items fit in inventory? No, that is a U function. Can items fit in inventory? Okay. There we go. So we first check whether or not the amount of items that we want to add can fit in there. Because if not, we don't do anything. Let's just promote it to a variable as well. Amount. Just set this up properly right away. So only if they can fit in do we actually provide it with those items, and then after that we just destroy this actor. So now we should be able to... Do I have a save? I don't have a save game. Okay, we're going to need to play through a little bit, but we'll also see that the... Okay, that's weird. Why does it have the items in there? And why does it... What the fuck? Why does it run that code? What? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. I think part of the issue there is that the level that I was trying to load was marked as invisible, which sometimes is a little weird in editor. When levels are marked as invisible and you try to load them like during gameplay, it can't find the levels because the editor is just hiding the levels altogether. And where in a package build that's not an issue. In the editor itself, it just cannot reach them because it assumes that they'll be available in memory or something. So it doesn't actually try to load them in the same way. I think that's what happens. I'm not entirely sure. But it's kind of fucky about it. So I probably should be testing this in my test level. That's why I have a test level. Well, if it crashes again, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Oh my god. Let's also add the items folder to my favorites. Did this save the code that we just added in there? No, it doesn't. This is why C++ is nice, because it doesn't do this kind of bullshit. Cast to third-person character. It's very easy to set up again, though. So if cast is successful, get inventory. Yeah, that's an inventory component. I was just thinking, is inventory maybe null? But it's a component, so sure as hell it wouldn't be. Can items fit in inventory? Add items. Condition true. Only if this cast is successful. I might have accidentally put it up against this, maybe? I don't know. Item assets. Item assets. And then we'll... Amount to add can just actually be amount to add. That's totally fine. Let's compile and save this time. Cool. Set our contacts here to spawn tutorial. I think I might have put it in combat tutorial. That's why it crashed before. When I loaded combat tutorial. Summon. I didn't actually create that either. Well, that sucks. That's not fantastic. Oh, but it still does have this. Okay, so we have summon basic demon. We just need to make the item again. That's fine. Yeah, that's entirely fine. I can just duplicate, summon basic demon spell. Change the icon around to this. Basic demon. So, do you guys have an opinion on the lifetime of these summons? Because I'm personally still not entirely sure whether or not they should be on a timer, or whether or not they should just have, like, stat components. And they have a lifetime just until they get killed. Personally, I'm leaning a little bit more toward giving them just, like, 30 seconds to live. Maybe a minute. Depending on which character you spawn in. I think that might make the most sense. But I'm not entirely sure yet. So if you guys have any opinions, now would be the time to voice them. There's no save games. Okay, but there is the fact that it does load that one, right? It loads those. So why does it load those abilities into... Can items fit in inventory? Where does it actually, like, begin play? What object is causing this? Why would it... Why would it do that? It tries to add in items. And it tries to add in items. when going between rooms. But it should only... Why does it do that? I don't know. I think it's time for me to take a quick bathroom break because I didn't have time to do that before stream, so I really need to pee. And then we'll figure this out. So maybe we won't be doing any AI stuff for a little while. We'll get to it though. So yeah, I do think it actually has to do with our level loading system because I think that has like a gameplay save file that I think maybe it just assumes exists. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see what the actual line is where it goes wrong. Right, it goes wrong at. Can items fit in inventory? So line 185 in the inventory component here. What about this would be weird? It would be item to add. Max stack size to slots. Oh, this might be the thing that's going wrong. Oh, no. Well, actually, am I getting slot.item is not a pointer? Yeah, no, that makes sense. Item to add definitely isn't the... Ah, wait a second. Yeah, okay, so let's... We should check if item to add is valid. Because this is the only, like, object in this line that could be causing issues. Because the rest is all just data. So we should check, like, if... not item to add. Just immediately return false. Because then we're trying to add a null item, which is going to like be a problem. So don't run any of the other code, because that can lead to crashes. Which presumably means that I have one of those things that I put in that level. Or that it's trying to like load in inventory slots with null items for some reason. Oh, that might be what's going on. Yes, that's what's going on. Okay. It is trying to load in items from a save file that no longer exists because I had to test items, right? that I tested the inventory stuff with before I had actual items, and I removed those test items from the project. So now it's trying to load those test items that no longer exist, so are null pointers, into my inventory. But the inventory assumes that when you get to that code, the item object is valid. If it's not, though, that obviously is going to be a problem. So yeah, that's probably a good thing to to build in a protection there. That said, I don't see myself removing a lot of items going forward. But even if we end up like overlapping with a world item object that didn't have that item to add thing like properly set or something like that, that might be a problem. It is kind of weird though that it doesn't make that an issue until going through. That implies you don't load the inventory until going into like the second map. Also, I don't know what's up with the quality here. Like, why is the texture so fucked? Oh, I might still be on low quality actually. Then again, I probably would be at more than 90 FPS if I was on low quality. I would hope. Actually, I can just do that in-game, can't I? Oh no, I am on low. Let's set it to epic. Yeah, there we go, 60 FPS. That's still good. So yeah, we're just gonna say texture detail. We're gonna keep on going because I just need to set up a save file on that save point to test this out. And we'll worry about the other stuff in a moment. Where is... That's inventory, shop, crafting. Oh, save game is just down here. Okay. Let's do that. There we go. Isn't this supposed to... Didn't I change this to... Oh, does it only work for settings? I think it might only work for settings. I didn't do that for save game yet. Yeah, it works for settings, just not for whatever. It also isn't giving me an inventory. Sorry, what? Okay, now it has an inventory. I don't know. What the fuck? What? I have 2 inventories now. Something is going terribly wrong. Okay, let's take a look at that real quick, because that doesn't seem... Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I think the issue is in... let's see, redraw slots. Doesn't add them back in anymore. Item display. Player items is... Oh, that's player items. Okay, that's also kind of weird, but sure. What I want to look at is the item grid, which I think is in the... Right over here. I changed something about this to not make it destroy and re-add a bunch of inventory slots every time you update something, because that would also mess up the focus for everything, which is a little annoying. So as you can see, the update item grid just does redraw item slots now for everything, instead of running this again. And I guess event construct needs more than a 1 tick delay in order for this to properly work. Oh, its inventory isn't initialized yet. At that point, probably... Oh, but that's fixable. Because when does it initialize the inventory? I would assume when begin play. But maybe it doesn't. There's all ability stuff. Let's check this out. Hold on, no, that is the thing that it does on here, right? Because in the inventory component itself, it does it on begin play, I think. It's supposed to. Yeah, begin play, set inventory size to the default inventory size. And then add items, like empty item slots for all that. If it doesn't have the inventory tag, give it the inventory tag. I don't know why it makes a local bool for this. That can just go in there, actually. So yeah, it does this on begin play. So that should definitely be valid by the time that fucking thing spawns in. So why doesn't it do anything? Let's see. Now it works immediately. Oh, but it does every time you open it up. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I get why that happens, because it happens on event construct. What we need to do is on, nope, event init. On initialized. That's only when it first gets created. Event construct runs every time it gets added to the viewport. So that should fix that issue, except that it doesn't add it at all now. So I guess on event constructs, why doesn't it do that though? Is it not valid? False. Inventory component isn't valid yet at that point. Why not? Because... Oh, no, that does actually make sense. Yeah, now this just needs to be... a custom event that I call explicitly. Create inventory content or something like that. And then wherever the hell the other UI stuff happens, I think in the other pause menus. Yes, in the checkpoint menu, for instance, when it gets created, we set player inventories. That's all good. Well, actually, we need to do it in this. So there, we need to do it in here. Yeah. So set player inventories. It sets the player inventory on this. Then it sets the inventory on the item grid. And then on the item grid, we create inventory content. And we just need to do that in a couple of different places now. Like the normal pause menu as well. So we set it, and then we make it generate all the slots. Well, there's actually only two places I have an inventory grid, I think. What's the problem? I think there's a problem. Yeah, okay. That should fix that. There we go. And now if I... Perfect. It doesn't disable my HUD. Oh my god! No, it does keep adding them. Why? Oh, because that also... Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Because that happens on event constructs. You know what? I was just thinking. Just a funny little thought I had, right? Instead of doing all that, we can just go into the item grid, and still just add in a clear, like clear all children. But we'll also just fix this. I hope. I think. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. At all. So... yeah, now I think that's all fixed up. Good. If I open this up. Great. Big. Doesn't have an overlap collision yet on that thing. Fuck me. Easy enough to set up. Don't get me wrong. Just a sphere collision and there we go. I'm going to change this around to like use an interaction system or something in the future, but for now, I'm sorry, what? I am fairly certain that this isn't overlap. What? Am I going insane? No? Oh, does it just not destroy? Oh, maybe. Ooh. Let's see what might be going wrong here. I didn't really anticipate the adding of the item to the inventory to be the thing that would be difficult in today's stream. But fucking here we are. Okay, so world item. This must be returning false then, right? Because it's definitely not the cast that's failing. That would be... but it's... what? Okay, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I did forget to add in the destroy actor on this. So there is that. I fucking hate that it does this. Well, okay, that works a bit better, but it doesn't actually add it to the inventory. And I don't know why. Because, that does add items not... hold on. Now, on inventory changed broadcast, so... and opening up okay, hold on. Item grid. On event construct, we do want to update item grid. I think that might be the issue. It's just not visually showing. Like the item grid itself is not being updated, but the inventory will be updated. No. Huh. Okay, let's think about this for more than 2 seconds before like closing down every single time. I can just check this dude's inventory component. I can just click on him and see his inventory. It's not getting added to his inventory. How the fuck is it? Oh. I am an idiot. Does anybody want to take a guess why it's not getting added to the inventory component? Does anybody want to take a guess why it is not being added to the inventory component? Anybody want to take a guess? Because the default value for the amount to add is 0. and didn't actually give it another value. So it's adding 0 of that item, which means that it's not adding it at all. There we go. Oh yeah, except that that doesn't work anymore. We need to do that at save point. I still don't know why these are all kinds of messed up, but for now, I don't think I really care. Yeah, so this will only work when we are in combat, so we need to walk over in this direction a little bit. And now... First and foremost, why don't you have any HP? You guys. What the fuck? Secondly, why can I not summon my dude? Did I not... Why do I not summon my dude? What? Player, gameplay ability. Oh, what might be happening is summon basic demon. Yeah, it doesn't have a class to spawn. Summon basic demon. There we go. Let's try again. For testing purposes, it would probably be nice to have the capability of just adding items at any place, at any time. I could just have a button that opens the checkpoint menu. I don't need to... Yeah, I probably should add a debug button that just opens the checkpoint menu. Okay. It spawns in one of them dudes. Okay, so spawning them in works. They just don't do anything. But they do take aggro. I have programmed that properly. They take aggro, which is part of their... Oh. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So... I am so fucking tired today. You have no idea. The issue is, they don't have a behavior tree asset. So they won't do anything because of that. I mean, the player doesn't have an issue. The player can just summon them. At that point, it's up to the characters. Which that's also a reason that they need a gameplay ability or an ability system component, because they need to be able to execute abilities. But then at that point, it's just up to the like spawned in enemy to run its behavior tree, which it didn't do. Yeah, I'm definitely going to add a button for... Oh my god. For like checkpoint menuing and stuff. Now it should have behavior. The behavior isn't doing anything, but I think it does have behavior. So let's check that out, right? We have the basic demon behavior tree. So we can just look up BT basic demon. Can't find any matching actors. Okay, that is not a good sign. Why? Access none trying to get property, get AI controller and run behavior tree. This inherits from summon base, which inherits from character. So it... What? Basic land enemy controller. Yeah, that should be fine. What? Oh, no, I know why. I know why. I know why. This should probably be a thing that we set in summon base, actually. It doesn't get possessed unless it's placed in the world. So we want to spawned or placed. Both are fine. Yeah. I don't care about the pause menu error at the moment. Okay, then we can start testing his behavior. I've done some of this before the stream. So it'll kind of work, but it won't work very well. But it'll search out the most nearby enemy and attack it. Right? The only issue is, and it's actually quite good at it as well. The only issue is if it doesn't have a nearby enemy, like if it doesn't find one in its like line of sight, it kind of gets fucked because it just like goes to the normal behavior of the enemies. I will note though, it is kind of nice that if I am closer in theory, at some point, they should start aggroing me instead of aggroing him. But that might have also not gone through. Oh no, you see, this guy's not aggroing me because I was technically closer and he updates like once every like 2 seconds. They update their aggro. I think is how that works. Yeah, so it clears the target key every 5 seconds with a random interval of 0.1. At which point it will run the find target again, and find target does all these. But what I think it should do, just to go through all this, it clears all the possible targets, which I don't think it should need to do, but it does. It clears all the possible like distances for those targets, and then it does something similar to like the weighted targeting system video that I made a while ago. It does a sphere overlap. It checks if it found anything at all. If not, it prints something and it finishes execute. We don't need to do that printing anymore. If it does find something, it for each loops over them. And it does like all of this stuff. I don't know what this is supposed to be. We don't need to print anything anymore. It checks whether or not it does an exclusive OR on checking the enemy tag on both. So anything that is an enemy just automatically gets assigned an enemy tag at begin play. And for this, it will only set things as a target if they don't match the enemy tag on themselves. So if they themselves, my allies, don't have an enemy tag, they'll only aggro things with an enemy tag. And if they have an enemy tag, which means that they're enemies, they'll only aggro things without an enemy tag. That being either me or anything that I summon. So that's what this exclusive OR thing does. And if that is all true, it gets added to the possible targets list. Then the possible targets list populates the distances list. And then it sets the blackboard value to the closest thing in world space. Now, I want to change things up a little bit. I don't actually use any of this anymore, so I don't know why this still exists. I want to change this up a little bit. Because it's actually quite easy to make this work a little bit better. The issue that I have right now is if I summon my dude over here and his like checking radius doesn't overlap with any enemies, he's just going to stand around until he disappears. Because again, I'm thinking about doing it on a timer. Which is kind of a waste of MP. So where I want the enemies to be a little bit more like tricky and difficult, with them having to like spot you, I want the summons to have an easier time spotting enemies. I want it to effectively always just be able to spot something. So what I will do instead is... That's the question, what will I do instead? Because I think this was actually already my solution for that. Yeah, so this is the issue. For normal enemies, I only let it move to their target if they have line of sight. So if I'm out of the line of sight, even though they have a reference to me as their target, when they cannot see me, they won't move toward me. So that you can easily like run away from enemies. For the most part. But I want that to not be the case for the like summoned entities. The summoned entities should always just make their way toward the thing that they're targeting. Instead of a timer, you could use actor lives. That's true, yeah. Not what I'm worried about right now. We'll worry about that later. Well, that's entirely true. I was just thinking about a delay, to be honest with you. But we'll figure it out. I need a way for this one behavior tree to distinguish between enemy and not enemy. So what I'm thinking is this move to target, right? What I used to have on this is a decorator, something called like can see player or whatever. See fucking one of these, I think. Let me check somewhere in here, I think. I was quite sure that I had one of them in there. Hold on. Oh, so we do have an is Blackboard entity of class. Well, that's actually kind of nice. So we can, oh, so that means we can check the self actor to be, ooh, but that's kind of nice. That, I think that fixes all my stuff. So if we put a selector here, we can effectively just like filter. Well, we could just hook them up immediately like this, but this is a little bit more like visually clear. So we can just check whether or not the self actor is of class, and then we say like enemy base. And this one doesn't need to have a filter. If it's just not enemy base, it just moves to target. No, this needs to also have a filter on it, actually. Let's just, like, summon base. Because then I want to set the can see player thing up here as well. And if that fails, it should not always go to this one. It should only go to this one if it's a summon base. I'm thinking, it doesn't make sense to make this into like its own move to task instead, but that's probably going to be like a little bit annoying to do. So I don't think I want to do that. Have I just removed can see player? I think I might have just removed. Oh, hold on. No, what that is. It's a Blackboard key can see player that gets updated. So it's just a simple Blackboard decorator. That is. Let's see. Can see player is set. It moves to target. Okay, so now I think this means that the normal demons will move to player only if they have line of sight, and the other ones will always move to their target. Okay. In order to test that, we're going to go into this spawner, and we're going to change wave 2 to wave 1, so that spawns in the demons first. just because I don't want to fight through an entire wave of enemies before I can test anything. That sounds miserable, and I still have not made a debug key for opening the checkpoint menu. Also, this... Oh! This does work. I thought that wouldn't work unless there's enemies around. It probably shouldn't work unless there's enemies around, to be fair. But yeah, so the moment he loses line of sight, he loses interest in me. It's actually a good test. If I put one down here, what will it do? Like, will it require line of sight? Because it kind of seems like it's requiring line of sight, not gonna lie. Or just not have... Does it just not have a target? We can test it, actually. Seizure warning, I guess. Oh! I know the issue. He's outside of the nav mesh. That's the issue. I guess let's just expand the nav mesh a little. Because I do like that as a test. The nav mesh can expand all the way through there. Yep. Before I do that though, before I do any of that, debug key. I like T. Let's do T. We will checkpoint menu. Somewhere on here. Checkpoint menu. Add to viewports. That's gonna make my life a whole lot easier. Don't use save game with that though, because that could be an issue. But that's why it's a debug key. There we go. So now I can do this wherever the fuck I want. Again, let's actually put one down here. Does it technically see that as an enemy for the music system? Huh. And he does come around the corner even without line of sight. But when they lose line of sight to me... I said when they lose line of sight to me... Okay, hold on. I think this should abort. So, observer aborts. Both. Yeah, there we go. Because when that value changes, he should either start following you or stop following you. It would be nice if you could filter on seeing what keys are already used. That would be nice. I also kind of get why it doesn't do that, but... Yeah, see? He's interested in me, and he loses interest in me when he can't see me anymore. What he realistically should do when he can't see me anymore is keep walking to the last known location where I was. Just to make him a little bit more intelligent. Because this is a little too dumb. But even though, like, when I spawn one in here, he can't see shit, he still makes his way to his target. So, my allies are a little bit more intelligent than the, like, enemy versions, which is good. All while running the exact same behavior tree. And that's the thing that I wanted to accomplish today, for the most part, is see whether or not I could get it to work where I can run the same behavior tree between both versions. Because I would really like to have my efforts go into both directions so that I don't have to like duplicate the work that I do. And that seems entirely possible so far. So that's good. So yeah, let's I think we just move it to... Hold on, there's a whole bunch of new updates here, because we've got this acceptance radius and this filter class. Oh, that's not new. But what are these? Oh! Unreal did the thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, seemingly, and that is being able to link these values to keys. Because that's a thing that I bitched about a while ago, right? Like weight, for instance. Fantastic. That makes my life so much easier in a lot of ways. I made a whole wait Blackboard time. Oh, it already had a wait for Blackboard time. But I made my own wait for Blackboard time with a random deviation, right? Which is very simply just a delay with a random deviation. It's a very simple task, but it seems like the normal wait node now also can just take in these float keys to run its logic. So wait for Blackboard time is also no longer necessary, like the built-in one. That's kind of nice that it can do that. Because that means that literally like any of these things can now be linked to Blackboard keys, which makes like more dynamic behavior trees. That's actually fantastic. Developers are happy. Like I complain about you guys a lot because I'm a YouTuber. Let's be honest. That's why I'm actually like very impressed with Unreal Engine in almost every regard, aside from widget blueprints. But that's mostly because I'm also like a video editor, and I'm used to using After Effects. So then widget blueprint seems a little like downgraded. But yeah, no, that's fantastic. I like that. So, what were we doing? Oh yeah, I was, instead of moving to a target directly, I think these guys should move to the patrol location, because I think the patrol location gets updated when they're but I think the patrol location only gets updated when they sense like a change, if that makes any sense, right? So that patrol location, like this guy is going to try to keep walking past me now. Yeah, so it should regularly update the patrol location, because I think I have a service for that. Update player location, right? Yeah. So this should run probably like 10 times a second. Player actor key will be the target. The patrol location will be the patrol location. And the Blackboard key is something we don't use, I don't think. This is made in C++, so I can't check it. But this will make it update the player location when it's following the player 10 times a second. So that's probably pretty good. I think a little bit of random deviation there probably is good to just prevent enemies from syncing up and doing not the exact same tick. Okay, so it's still only... Okay, let's check. No, this should target patrol location. I guess the issue is that when it's moving to a location, it doesn't update. That is the issue that I ran into before as well. Yeah. Okay, in that case, it moves to target when the... Okay, we'll get there. We'll just add in another selector, because why not? This is going to have the filter on the class, and then when we can see the player... Yeah, when we can see the player, it's going to move directly to it. And otherwise, it's going to move to its patrol location, which should be the last known location of the player. And then every 5 seconds or so, it's going to get wiped. And if it doesn't get updated again with the player, it then goes into patrolling, I think, right? Because if nothing... yeah, so if it doesn't find anything, it should set the blackboard value target key to being nothing. Do we like need to put in like a null value? I don't think we do. So yeah, that will null it out. And I think that gets me. Why does this automatically remove input control? Can you just like shut your fucking mouth? How about that? And we need to look into the into the movement speed of that dude, because there's also something weird going on with my summon. But now when he loses track of me, he should still... No, he does not. Yeah, the moment he loses sight of me, he stops walking. Okay. Then again, this is never going to run now, is it? Wait, but... This should never run. Why is it running in the first place? Let's just observe their behavior for a few moments, just to see if there's anything that we can pick out from it. I'm going to put this up on my other monitor. You guys can't see it. I'm sorry about that. But you'll live, I'm sure. I'm not even going to bother about summoning my dude. I just want to see what they do. Right, so I'm going to look at this guy's behavior. He's following me, he's following me, he's following me, and he goes into patrol. So why does he go into patrol? Because... I guess can see player is not set to true, actually. No, that does make sense. So... he is of this class, but can see is set to false. And then... Oh, but that's also... Oh, that's also an issue, isn't it? Because now when they don't have a target, they just stand around. So instead of clearing... Okay, I have an idea. Right now it clears the blackboard key every 5 seconds. And then it sets it again. But if it doesn't find anything to set it to, it's just going to get stuck on this, right? So what it should do instead is the code that it does in here... like all this... should go into this instead. And then we'll rename it to update blackboard key or something like that. That means that that other task also becomes irrelevant. So that's kind of nice. I'm guessing this was controlled pawn. Can I please create this variable? create that variable. I think that'll allow us to compile. Not quite yet. Oh, target key, that makes sense. Finish execute is not needed for a service. Actor has tag. This one. Get distance to. For this one. Get actor location. I am assuming for this one, otherwise it would have been hooked up. And finish execute is not needed. So now that will compile, yes. Which means that I can get rid of this, and this will now just update that every like 5 seconds or so, which is just a little bit cleaner to begin with. So that's probably good. And then for this, we do a yeah, okay. So for this one, as long as it has a target, it will move to that patrol location. But if it doesn't have a target at all, which means that it's been cleared by this service, then it will go into its patrolling. The funny thing is, once we have finished this, we need to do the exact same setup for all the other behavior trees that we already have. Which is going to be a pain. Because there's like 6 of them, I think. But once we have figured it out, it should be pretty easy to also replicate that across, I think. They're not doing anything. They're stuck in trying to do an ability. Why? Why? Do ability. Give ability activate once. Wait for tag to end. I guess it doesn't remove that tag because it doesn't do the ability for fucking some reason. Okay, so what's your problem? Like, what actually is your problem? Because I'm fairly certain that I didn't pick up the item. Hold on. I'll go pick it up. If I summon this dude, he will be able to run the ability. And he's the exact same mesh as you guys. So if he can do it, so should you. Oh, no. He also is just standing still. Okay, so it is definitely... Okay, so is it definitely to do with like this update distance to player not running? Because, oh, yeah, makes sense. This only runs every 5 seconds, so they're going to stand still for 5 seconds before they get a value anyway. How do we deal with that? I guess every time it goes through, it also needs to call tick. Maybe. Why are you being a bitch about this? Target is none. Draw debug sphere. Any proper location. with the same radius. We'll make this blue. Just to see like when and how often they actually like do that. Yeah, so they do it for like a split second there, which should allow them to pick me up. At least some of them. Yeah, I'm definitely within their radius there. So why does this not work? Is it because... I'm assuming it is because it's not picking up any overlap collisions. No, it's not even printing that, so... What is actually going on then? That means that it's making it through here. Possible targets. Adding to that from this array. Yeah, that makes sense. Only if the XOR of... Oh. No, that makes sense, because this is checking the array element and this is checking the control pawn. We're gonna get there one day. If this prints out third person... What the fuck? Okay, so... How? Because this... How? It is finding... It's just not setting it. Is this the weird, like, bug that we ran into a while ago as well, with two services running together? Kind of makes things fucked. Let's just like get rid of the update distance to player thing and see if that actually... I think it was something like two services setting Blackboard keys at the same time. I don't even know what I did there. Makes things go a little fucked. Target, none. So that's definitely not the issue then. So then why does it do... Unless I messed up target somehow. No, it's just a generic object. That should be fine. Let's update it every second. Just to... like, that's probably fine. I really don't understand why this is going wrong. Like, on top of everything else, even if they think that they are that close to me because they're... I keep pressing F5 for some reason. I don't know why. Can I please detach? Hello? Unreal. Thank you very much. Okay, let's try that again. But even if it thinks that the distance to the player is 0, or the distance to the target rather, is 0, Unreal is really unresponsive today. It should that means that it does do this, but then it should just do that ability, which it also doesn't do. So that almost implies that it's trying to trigger this over and over and over and over again, but I don't see that being a reasonable thing. Well, it does seem to try to be doing that quite often. Let's just follow this one. Hold on, let's actually just put a breakpoint here. And maybe I should test this with only one, but Mega Lights does some weird stuff with lighting, man. So it doesn't ever even get to that. It never gets to this. Does it get to this? At this point, I'm like thoroughly confused. No. So it doesn't even execute this task. Automatically register input on construction. Oh, that's actually a thing that you can do in widgets now. Well, I'm not using this anymore, but that might make everything a bunch easier to navigate with, like, things in widgets. Yeah, that's why I removed all that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that a weird bug, and just to be sure, we're going to rebuild real quick. If nothing else, just to isolate my sanity. Because all that, like, doesn't make sense. In the meantime, I can check my TikTok upload for today, because it seems to be doing relatively well, I think. Oh yeah, actually, it's doing decently. Huh, nice. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna open up all those assets again that we were working on. We have those breakpoints. We can just keep this around for a time being. Let's see if this changes anything. Yes, okay, so now it reaches those breakpoints. Which means that it just wasn't running the code properly last time, I think. I'm fairly confident that I can just remove this now and it'll probably be fine. Unless the behavior tree itself is different. No, I think this will be fine. Or not. Target is none. Well, let's put the breakpoint back here. See if that gets rigged. Because none of this makes sense. That does get triggered. You know what? I have an idea. Distance to player is less than 165, but this also should very much only happen if the target is set to begin with. Which means that it's going to be running around until it gets a value, and then it will be able to do this. So I think this might fix it. Or not, we'll see. Fuck if I know. Yeah, so they immediately start patrolling, but they just do not give a fuck about me. So their target value is very much not getting updated. But every single time it goes through, it does print out the third-person character, which is the thing that's weirding me out most. Because when I run away, it stops doing that, because it doesn't have anything. So the only thing that makes sense to... let's also remove this breakpoint. The only thing that makes sense is that this value... is valid. It's just not getting set to the blackboard value. But it is getting to the... This node is getting run, it's just not doing anything. Right? And I'm still like 92% sure that it might be to do with this. Because we had an issue with that in the past. But still they ignore me. Why do they do this? Yeah, target is just straight up none. Let's showcase its activation information. Yeah, that's not doing anything. It's really weird how it is possible for it to run but not actually update that thing. And it's not even that services can't update keys, because they can. Unreal BT service not updating key. More people have this issue. Wait, does it need a finish execute? I might just be really dumb. No, it doesn't. As it turns out, BT service does not actually update accordingly. The problem was that I did an amateur hour by not selecting a specific enemy character in the editor before checking. Okay, so not my problem at all. Why are behavior trees so overly complicated? They shouldn't be, but they have this kind of shit happening, so I'm inclined to agree with you. But usually when you say something's overly complicated, it means that you've only like spent 5 minutes trying to figure it out. Because this is the internet. So let's see if ChatGPT has an answer. This feels like the kind of thing that you should not ask ChatGPT, but in Unreal I have a service on one of my behavior tree nodes that is supposed to update the value of a key. However, the key isn't getting updated. And sure the key exists. I'm pretty sure the key exists, yes. Correct type. Key name match, that's also not an issue. Update Blackboard key in the service. Set value as objects. Possible targets. I mean, we're getting the update. The only thing that I can possibly imagine could be going wrong is that it's trying to set it as an object, but that's kind of fucking up. And that it for some reason needs to be a key type actor. Oh, but it already is. Oh, we can give it a default value though. That's kind of neat. I guess let's just, instead of base class actor, let's just do base class objects. Can we do that? I guess we can just, there we go. See if that makes any difference. It shouldn't, because the things that I'm trying to put into it very much are actors. But at this point, anything is worth trying. Yeah, that doesn't really make a difference, does it? Not even a little. So let's set this back to actor just because. Definitely not instant synced. Target. Keys target, yeah. Whoa. What did I do there? Why does it have 2 ticks next to it, and what makes it just disappear? That's kind of fucked. All decorators below this branch will be removed when execution flow leaves. Decorator on this node will be affected. Okay, so that's for decorators. That doesn't really matter. I'm just going to do something wild, but I'm going to put this service on here instead. And see if it makes a difference. Because I am like thoroughly confused. It is getting the right object. It's just refusing to set the value to the key. Yeah, it's just not setting the key. I mean, it's not even that I need to. Is it? What's the difference between activation and tick? If both the generic AI event inferences are okay. Servers became active. Activation AI, so we also get the control pawn. Let's all hook up to this one thing so that we can very easily swap this around. And let's just see if this makes a difference. Doing it on activation instead of tick. I don't think it should. Who fucking knows? Yeah, it's not looking like that's making a difference. Can BT services set key values? This is really weird, man. BT task and service. That's my own fucking video. I'm using a behavior tree with multiple services. There's one problematic service. I use a custom enum and two Boolean values from the Blackboard to assign them. Having the editor open, I can set them as shown in the first picture. However, on project startup, the Blackboard start reference uses chase instead of started. That's different from the issue that I'm having. Behavior tree service can't add Blackboard value. That's the exact thing that I'm looking besides object variable. The exact opposite of my issue. Um, is something else overriding it in the behavior tree? That is actually like maybe patrol location. No, surely that wouldn't run EQS. Nah. This is just for normal patrol. And the rest is just all move twos. So surely that's not the case either. All that said, I think. Oh, hold on. Probably put this on the main screen. All that said, I think It might still also make sense to move this down even a little bit more toward there for like performance reasons, so that it only looks for new targets when it doesn't already have a target. Right? No. No, this needs to be here because it also needs to lose its focus. No, but that's not how that works at all, is it? Okay, so let's think this through. If it has a player set, so while this is, yeah, no. No, that's Kenzie player. Otherwise, it just moves. Yeah, so I think it only really needs to update when it, like, this is in here. That's not going to change anything, mind you. Unless it does. We can hope. I mean, if it does, I'm going to just be more confused. Yeah, no, it just doesn't. Hold on, does it even... Question. Did it even print out the names? Because that might just not be activating. No, it does print out the names. Are you here to attack me? No, sir. Okay. Unless this also is somehow activating at the same time. And immediately clearing the value again. But that's the only way that I can see that being set to a null value. And it's not. It's also definitely not firing regularly enough. It should be on tick. I thought it would need to be. But let's remove that. So if I walk away now, it should stop printing hello. No, it doesn't, does it? Huh. Okay, so instead of checking this, what we should do is after this first one, we need to check whether or not there's any potential. Like, what the fuck even are we doing? After that, we need to check whether or not there's any potential targets or possible targets. So we check if length is greater than 0. It's a little bit of a mess, but we'll fucking get there. Then we'll do the rest. If the length here is not greater than 0, then we set it to like null with hello. This still shouldn't be the cause of the issue, to be very clear. But yeah, now it starts printing hello at least. So that's behaving the way I'd expect it to. But yeah, this is not the cause of the issue. So it still isn't setting the target key properly. YouTuber problems. Yeah, and it's my own video when I'm trying to find tutorials is like really weird. This, I think it's just like, I think it's just fucked. I was wondering how to set a simple blackboard key in a behavior tree. That is a very basic question. It's not the thing I'm looking for. Let's just look at only Reddit and Unreal Engine forums. How to make an enemy without a behavior tree. Depression. That's how. Fucking don't do that. Well, state trees, I suppose. Blackboard key and BT service variable changes on project. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. How to simply set up Blackboard key on AI. Oh, hold on. Did I do a bad? I might have done a bad in the AI controller. Hold on. I think it's basic land enemy controller that I did. So on perception updated. So this might be the thing. Where something leaves its perception, it might be setting things to null for some reason. Target equals all that, and if target is true, so if it's valid, and or the actor. Yeah, so I don't think we need to test this because we want to test whether or not the target is an actor. Oh, we want to check whether or not target is. Oh yeah, no. So we want to check. Okay. But why do we need to cast? Oh, because this returns you a generic object. Okay, yeah. Then we check whether or not they are the same. So whether or not. Yeah, so this is not setting it. This is only setting the value as bool. Which, to be very fair, maybe instead of doing this as a service, we can just fucking do this in the AI controller on a timer. Because that will work. At least that will more likely work, is what I should say. I'm just gonna go into the enemy base class, wherever it might be. Enemy base. And there on tick, we're just gonna get AI controller from self. And then we will get the blackboard and we will get value as object. The key name will be literal name, will be target, set target. There we go. And we're just going to be printing that out. See if it at any point for a split second turns into third-person character. Hey, why aren't you doing that? What? Probably because these guys have their own override for some reason of the tech event, I assume. What the fuck even is up with their materials? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Yeah, it has an override of the tech event here, which is not doing anything. Yeah, so let's just ignore those materials because I've got bigger fish to fry at the moment. Still not printing them. You guys do inherit from BP enemy base, right? Yes, you do. Ha. Okay. That's kind of weird. Let's also set these back to what they're supposed to be. Wait, does this thing now have no... What the fuck? Demon eyes? Demon teeth. Sure. Everything today is weird. Oh my god! What the fuck? Oh, so done with this shit. It's setting it to a... Like, this is the key selector that we have exposed, and this is the one that we're using in the code. Fuck me. Swap them around. Now it's gonna work. If it doesn't work now, I'm going to fucking jump out my window. Yeah, fantastic. Now it works. Let's not die. Let's go pick up the item and spawn in the thing to see if it works. So yeah, the moment they lose line of sight, they lose interest. We'll worry about that in a moment. Spawn this dude in. Update distance to player should only... let's see. Gold tick on each start. Yeah, okay. So now we have the like small issue that distance to player... I guess we just set the distance to player default value because that's a thing that we can do, right? We just set this to a ridiculously high number, like 25 million or something like that. So that way it's always going to be bigger unless it is like manually overwritten. That's just the way that I think we're going to deal with that. So that it doesn't start out automatically doing the attack when it spawns in, because the value for distance to target is going to be 0 by default, which is obviously not what we want. So if I spawn this dude in, he's just going to wander around until these fuckers spawn in, at which point he's gonna come running in, right? It took him a little while, but he did. Okay. That's good. Now I just need this guy to have, like, more reasonable movement speed. So let's see. This is the normal basic demon. This is summon base, summon basic demon. Just do full blueprint editor, and let's put these like side by side. I'm just going to put the other one on my other monitor because that's why I have multiple monitors, isn't it? Character movement. Let's see. Where do we change something about his walking speed, presumably? Max walk speed, 200 centimeters a second. Yeah, it's set to 600 on the summon, so that is probably not really what we were looking for. Which I think that means that we have the first one working. Yes, there's only the first one. But now that we have this working, I'm fairly confident that the rest is going to be pretty easy to do. Except that issue, right? So now that we have all that figured out, maybe we do want this to just live on there. Yeah, maybe we do. Let's think about this. We can do this, and that immediately... But what if we... Okay, so this immediately makes a move toward the target now. Okay. One behavior tree, two different behaviors. I'm a genius. Ignore the fact that it took me over 2 hours to get that done, but it works now. So, let's go to this and change the name to update Blackboard target. And now we just need to update every single other summon. This is why I didn't want to do this, because it sucks. Basic Reaper. Alright. This needs to be updated anyway. Basic Reaper is effectively just the... Yeah, we don't need to do the revenge counter anymore. We don't need to do the find target anymore. Basic Reaper is effectively just the basic demon with different abilities. I also don't know why it would need to know its own HP percentage, because it's not using it anywhere, I don't think. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's using the exact same blackboard. So distance to player, yeah, it's using the exact same blackboard. Oh, this one still uses the last known actor location. When can see player is set. Yeah, but we don't actually do anything with it, do we? I don't even know, man. I'm just gonna kind of copy this over. I'm just gonna kind of, except for this one, delete everything in here. What even is, like, what ability even does it do there? Teleport. Oh, hold on. This is, oh, that's Basic Reaper. Oh no, that is actually different. I wanted to do the ghost. That's the one that I wanted to do. Yeah, so everything can just kind of go. Basic Reaper actually does have some slightly different behavior. Slightly being the operative word there. So yeah, the basic ghost should now also pretty much work. So that is how easy we can now update these other ones. Now, let's take a look at Basic Reaper, because we have some other stuff happening here. This stuff will be the same. This one we do want to do at random. I don't think that we are using the HP thing, so it doesn't really matter. I will say, though, it's nice to have all these drop-downs. It does make this menu look a lot more complicated than it actually is now. Of course, I prefer like function over like intimidation factor as a consideration, but it is something worth kind of noting. So yeah, I think we... Hello? Except for that one. I think we can just like paste that in here. And then the ability for teleporting itself is... That's actually a good point, because that's going to teleport you always to the player. So we're going to need to... Yeah, we're going to need to set that ability up to use whatever the target is from the behavior tree blackboard thing, I think. Target is set. So let's do that real quick. So teleport to like teleport attack for this. Right now, just teleport them to let's see, get player character. What it should do instead is it should how should we do this? Get avatar actor info, get AI controller, get blackboard, get a value as object, literal name, target. Yeah, then we need to cast it to an actor, which I'm just going to convert to a pure cast because I can't be asked. And then we can just hook it up into these. Can we make this a select? Yes, we can. Okay, so if this was a success... Hold on. If this is a success, then true, and otherwise we fall back on get player character as a default. Because sometimes the AIs might run this ability when they don't technically have a target on you, maybe. But I still want them to be able to teleport to you. For the summons, we're just going to assume that that's never going to be a thing. We'll... I don't know. Oh, but there's also cast to enemy. Ooh. But it casts to enemy to check if it is dead or not. So I guess if we just like, if it's not an enemy, it's a summon, and it doesn't matter whether or not it's dead, because like that's not logic that we use there. So we can just bypass that if the cast fails. So that's fine. So yeah, I think that ability should work as well now. Let's create the other two. So what we're going to do here actually is I'm going to set up in my animation level because this is just too bothersome to do otherwise. we already have the Reaper here, so we can just straight up test the Reaper. But we can also basic demon. Let's set him there as well. And then basic ghost. And both of these should start as active as well. Let's just test whether or not their enemy AI still works, and then we'll make a allied version of them for like summons, and then we'll have 3 of them all done. And those are going to be the 3 easiest ones. So you still seem to function entirely properly. So when you do your teleport attack in a moment, you're going to like disappear. You're going to like teleport toward me. You have about a 50% chance to do it every single time you move, I think. You still should end up right in front of me. And you do. Your movement was a little fucked. Not gonna lie. Something happened there. But yeah, all these guys, their AI pretty much still works. Their collision boxes are a little messed up, but we can deal with that. Later, not right now. So, the idea now is that I can go into my gameplay ability system for my player. And I can just copy some basic demon twice. So this will be summon ghosts. And we can make a summon basic reaper. We're not going to have summons for the boss fights, by the way, because those behaviors are so hard-coded to their specific situations that it doesn't make sense to be able to spawn them in because they just wouldn't work. They would need entire like separate behavior trees. So maybe I'll make them like into spells where they just show up for like one attack instead of like proper summons. If I really want to do that, but I don't know if I really want to do that, to be real with you. So yeah, at this point, I think it should be as easy as just going in. Not really having to do anything for like any of this, to be real with you. The only thing that I should have to change should be, this should become the, what class even are we working on at the moment? Basic Reaper. And then we scale this to somewhat fit in the capsule. There we go. And then we set this to Reaper. And that, I think, kind of just does it for this dude. Yeah. So then we do a ghost. And that's how easily we have like 3 different ones, I think. So ghosts. Yeah, so that's a little fucked. That's still a little fucked. The skill for the ghost is weird. It's got to do with the like armature naming scheme in Blender. We figured this out with the last character that I made, finally. But all the like older characters still have the exact same issues, and I haven't fixed that yet, and I don't know that I will. I'm gonna pretend like this is not happening. It's just a visual bug, I think. So yeah, we have these 3 now. And also, I really would like you to... that works for me. We have these 3. Okay. Then we go into the items. Item assets. And we duplicate this one twice as well. So this is summon basic Reaper. spell. And summon ghost spell. And I'll give them different icons. So the Reaper will be the green emoji, and the red emoji will be the demon, and then the ghost will be the... Yeah, that's fine. So this will be demon. This will be... Oh, we need to make separate abilities for them as well. It's the wrong folder. Okay. So summon demon is also going to require a summon ghosts and summon basic Reaper, where we just go in and we change this to... Which one was this again? Ghost, okay. Change that to ghosts. Change this to basic Reaper. And then back in the items, finally. I think this is just a demon. Yep. This will be the Reaper summon. And then this will be the ghost summon. And then we just put those down as items so that we can pick them up. So let's put them all down. This will be the demon. Just copy it over. Reaper. Copy it over. And ghosts. And I could even give all of these their own separate colors, right? So I could say the Reaper will be purple, but the basic demon will be like a more lightish blue color, and then the ghost will probably be like a more ghostly white color. And I just need to like update them to run their construction scripts again for all this to update. So now all these items have their own color as well, which is kind of neat. For now, though, we're going to keep them all at default values because that's what I want. Okay. This should give me... Oh, I already had those in there. That's okay. Cool. So, spawn the first one. This one works. Spawn the second one. That one also seems to work. It doesn't quite attack now. Okay, let's take a look at that. Because I think the issue may have to do with the difference between... Yeah, so this one doesn't check for whether can see player is set or not. And can see player is kind of messy with the other behavior trees, I think. So that might be the reason why. Oh, also they need to run their own behavior tree assets. So maybe can see player actually is fine to be on there. Hold on. We just need to change the BT asset on these. So this should run Ghost. Oh, Reaper, I mean. Because the issue is that they can't play animations inside of the abilities from other meshes. So basic Reaper, and then we do on this one BT assets, which will be Ghosts. And let's see if that works. So pick them all up. Go stand somewhere halfway safe. Probably should just populate my quick menu with them immediately, to be honest with you. Basic Demon. Works. Ghosts. Works, but kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. And the Reaper still's having some issues, but the Ghost seems to work. So why is the Reaper being a bit iffy? This is the Reaper, right? Yeah. It tries to do the ability, but it doesn't succeed. Why is that? Why would that be? Huh. Because it is running this. Now it does either left attack or right attack. Users give and activate once, so it's not even an issue that it doesn't have the ability. That said though, I definitely want to take out the print strings for this one. So why doesn't it? It's only the Reaper that I really care about right now, so let's only pick up that one. I think that's the Ghost actually. Yes, it is. Oh, and the Ghost needs to get its blackboard updated as well, because it's using a different blackboard, I think. But that's a worry for a little bit later. I think this is the Reaper. This is why having proper icons is probably just better. Yeah, let's see if... it's actually going to be difficult to see, because... it just doesn't... it just doesn't do the animations. That's really weird. I don't know why that would be. Either way, let's make sure that they... this is the basic demon, and we have basic Reaper using the same blackboard, I think, right? Yeah, that's blackboard for basic demon. Blackboard for basic demon. Where's the Ghost? Because you clearly have a different blackboard, right? Is there a reason for you to have a different blackboard? I don't think so. So we just give you the demon's blackboard so that you have the distance to player automatically set to super high. Okay. Let's think critically for like a moment, because we can figure this out. I'm sure that we can. Why would this ability... it is a montage, which by all accounts should work on you, because you are using... let's see. Hold on, what slot are you actually supposed to do those on? On default slots. Oh, hold on. Well, that's not amazing. You're also supposed to have a right attack. Oh, that's this one probably, right? Yeah, so those are supposed to run on the default slot, which is this. Which is only overridden by the knockback animations, the revenge attack animation, and the death animation. So let's just... I don't know why it would do that. Is it not running the ability to begin with? Or is it failing at the animation part? I guess we can figure that out. Cast to character, that should be no problem. Cast to actor. Yeah, none of this should be a problem, I don't think. Let's just print string. Enemy attack. And actually, let's append. Enemy attack. From get display name. And then we pick up the middle one. Put it in our hotbar or whatever. It's going to take a moment for him to get over there. They're also updating their... Okay, so it is actually doing an enemy attack. It's just not doing the animation. There's a couple of things to go through here. First and foremost, I think this should not be called on each tick start. So let's remove that, because now it's effectively just doing it always, which is not what I want at all. And then secondly, this still has a print string in it somewhere. No, it doesn't. This one has a print string in it. There we go. The dude's gonna hit me, but that's fine. Why? Okay, so it takes you a moment to... that's annoying. No, it doesn't make him attack. So it just doesn't run the ability to begin with. Ability system component. It's not printing this either, so it is... Unless... Not doing this at all. Target is set, can see player. Maybe it is the can see player thing. Try to get rid of that, because the ghost doesn't have that either, right? Yeah, I think it's a can see player thing. Which is honestly like fine. That is like the issue. Yeah, so now it does it properly. Well, it did it once. I also, for some reason, it's lower. I don't know why. So why are you locked up suddenly? I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so let's... Again, sorry that you can't see this, but... Distance to player is less than... The distance to player is 65. What the fuck do you mean distance to player is not... What the fuck is your problem? Okay, so for some reason, I don't know why, but as you can see, It's failing the distance to player check here. But it says that it's passing as well. So I don't know what's up with that. But it's making him get stuck. It should also be called distance to target and not distance to player, but fucking who cares? You can hit me, that's fine. See, he does it once. And then he just gets fucked. So is it because of... It may be because of the tag? But it's the exact same ability, and for the... So this is the weird thing, right? This is the ghost, hold on. Because for the enemy version, everything works properly. For the non-enemy version, for the allied version, which I guess just needs the mesh to be a little bit higher up, or something, for all that to work, that's definitely not it. For the allied version, it's for some reason a problem. I don't quite understand why. Because it's the same ability, so it should be applying and removing the same tags. It's really weird. So I'm gonna remove this dude from the map, and that's gonna give me like slightly easier troubleshooting because there's only one of these in the world at that point. Oh, it's basic demon, hold on. I just need to go stand over here for a moment while I get the proper behavior tree that I'm looking for. This is the ghost behavior tree, so where the fuck did I put the basic reaper? Okay. This doesn't have any existing objects, and as well I spawned one in, so that'll make it a little bit easier to troubleshoot. So, let's spawn one in. Which makes him move immediately to a patrol location. Made him attack that dude. And then he's just patrolling again because his radius is too small to pick up the dude over there. Which I guess we can just increase the radius if we need to. Also, where the fuck did he go? Oh, because he doesn't have... Yeah, very funny. I guess I can just kind of like lure this dude over toward me. So that the enemy will aggro him at some point. But he also, I think, is going to get stuck on that platform over there because he's trying to move to a location that he can't actually get to. Yeah, that's an issue. Okay, but now he's gonna be teleporting on top of that dude. No, he's not. What the fuck? Okay, that's something to take a look at. But now he has a target, which he's gonna be trying to slap. And it works. Okay. Sure. I don't know why. But it does. Isn't this just the most? Isn't this just the best thing you've ever seen? Two characters clipping into each other, punching. I think it's funny. Yeah. So that works. Except for one Tiny, what the fuck? Oh. Yeah, no, I guess the, I guess the summoned version doesn't have all of these. To be fair, like none of this matters at the moment anymore, so we'll just like get rid of them for now. But that's fair. So that just leaves me to one last thing to look at for today, I think, and then we're gonna like call it, I think. And that is if this object cast to actor is false, it picks the player character's position. Right, yeah, that's then the location that it sets itself to. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would it? So that's actor hidden, then it waits for a certain amount of time. Oh yeah, no, that does make sense actually. But why does it do... Oh, because plus 100 and yeah, okay. So then the location is where it spawns the actor. Okay. So why does this cast to actor fail when we try to retrieve targets? Because I don't think it should. Hello and welcome to the stream. Let's just get rid of this dude. Spawn this dude. Do your thing, man. Or not. Well, all that aside, I guess we can like put this guy up here so that he's forced to... Oh, that's... Oh, fuck. I have a button for that. I have a button for that. Hold on. Somewhere I have a button for that. But the button doesn't seem to be working. Okay. We'll eventually get there. Both of you come over here. Then I spawn a dude over here. Okay, so you should not be spawning on top of me. Why do you spawn on top of me? That means that cast to actor fails. Which means that... What does that mean? One of these is the ability that I'm looking for, surely. Hold on, I just have a reference to it right here. There we go. Yeah, so that will mean that this object is just not valid. Like the object it retrieves is just straight up not valid. That's what that almost has to mean. And I don't know if and why that would be the case, but... let's just wait. Yes, that is the issue. Is the issue that the AI controller can't be gotten? Because it might need to be like cast to a pawn for that or something. Wouldn't fully surprise me if that is the issue. No, okay, the controller is not the issue. I'm going to close a couple of these things down because they are really, really a pain to navigate at this point. It's getting the controller without too much trouble. Which surely means that it's getting the blackboard without too much trouble. Am I misspelling something? Target, target. No, I'm not misspelling anything. I don't think. But if it can get the AI controller, it can get the blackboard. That would be fucking weird if it couldn't. But we'll get there. Do you teleport thing? Come on, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. One of these days, you're gonna disappear. Preferably before this dude walks out of your range as well. I will lure him back in because you're such a useless piece of shit. Hello, come on. Okay, there we go. Still appears in front of me. Why does he still appear in front of me? Unless I have this just hooked up the wrong way. No, because it didn't get the blackboard. It didn't print out a blackboard. Right? We got to check whether the blackboard is valid. And also I'm going to change the random chance from 35% to 100% on him doing that ability. Because that's the thing that we're debugging at the moment. Hey, you, come over here. Thank you. No, I need you to come over here. Try to attack me so that my friend can see you and try to murder you. Thank you. Logically speaking, the summoned versions of these should never do this ability, I don't think. Because they will always have easier access to their targets, I think. True. Okay, so the blackboard is valid. But if the blackboard is valid, is the object that we're trying to retrieve valid? We're just going to go through this one step at a time. We'll eventually get there, I promise you. False. Okay, so that's interesting. That is really interesting. Because if I look at... Hello? Please? Follow me? Thank you. You're interested in me now? Follow me along. Come on. If I look at the behavior tree... Well, it actually isn't getting set a target. Why is it not getting a target set to it? Yeah, it should be getting a target key, right? Nothing about this needs to be navigable or have line of sight. It's just checking pawns within a 3000 radius sphere. And then it does do an XOR check on the enemy tag, but the things that I spawn don't have an enemy tag. Right? I guess to be sure that this runs properly, what we can try to do is also do an activation. So receive activation AI. And we just a controlled pawn will in both cases be promoted to a variable. And we'll just use it like this, and maybe that will make it run immediately. Yeah, but that now just makes it run on every tick, which is not what we want. But for the purposes of testing all this other stuff, that might actually not be the worst idea. And then we'll worry about actually like setting these values properly later. But its target still is none. How can its target be none? Why is its target none? Why is it not getting set a target at all? Does this motherfucker have a enemy tag on it for some reason? Tags. Give me your tags, man. Yeah, you don't have any tags. These dudes should have tags. Yeah, they have the enemy, so that's not the issue either. Why? You're not going to believe it, but I think I figured it out. Oh, it doesn't actually show. Okay. The key target, the target key here was set to target 1. That was just the engine getting confused with like keys that might like exist or not exist or something, I guess. Oh, it wasn't. It was just my screen being fucked. Okay, so that's not the issue. Never mind. But yeah, I don't think we want to be doing this necessarily. But I guess we will try this again. Because fuck if I know what's going on otherwise. False. Okay. Third-person character, sure. I'm also, for troubleshooting reasons, again, mostly for troubleshooting reasons, gonna change this to a much bigger radius, like 50,000. Is that bad for performance? Yes, easily. And make them stay around for like a quarter of a second. That's not 50,000. Oh, that's just the... yeah, so... just set both of these to 50,000. So that actually properly reflects. Yeah, so now it's checking a very big radius, which again is not sustainable, but in actual like gameplay, these things are never going to matter. Yeah, so its target is still set to none. But it's definitely overlapping with those guys now. There's no way that it's not. But it also doesn't reach the... So maybe it does need to be... But that would be weird. It feels like it can't get to them. Like it can't set it as a target if it's not like navigable. Let's test that theory real quick. Third person character, third person character, third person character, third person character. How weird. Huh. Is that something I did? Or is that something weird and Unreal? Because all I'm doing is... Oh, checking whether or not they're within... Oh my god. I'm checking whether or not the distance between their z values in absolute terms is less than 100. Let's set that to less than 1,000. Okay, that'll have been the issue then. Yeah, so this still works. And now it has a target. So now it actually attacks the thing properly. Fantastic. That means that we have 3 working enemy summons. And that means we only have a couple left to go. So I need to revise what the healing lantern does anyway. That thing is bugged beyond belief. But we're not going to do that for this build of the game. I want to do a golem, like the flying golem. I want to get working. And then we only have the shaman and the spider left to do. So I have 3 down and 3 left to go. The shaman and the spider are probably slightly, and the golem probably slightly more annoying to deal with. Partly because they have projectiles that need to reference back to whether or not they should be damaging something or should be like chasing after something. I guess they should always be chasing after the thing that their like instigator is targeting. But then when it overlaps with something else, it needs to also do that damage check. Which I guess it just needs to... Well, they all have a reference to the actor that they're chasing, so they just need to check, and I think they already do. At least the lightning bolts do. Shaman bolts. Basic projectile. Spawns in through the lightning attack. Is that what it's doing? That's what it's doing. That's weird. Well, it's not actually that weird because timing. Spawn lightning. Spawns the first lightning. Which then spawns all the lightnings. Okay, so we check if the overlapping actor has an ability system component, and if so, we send it a gameplay event to the instigator. And then I guess what we do in projectile is in the damage. Oh, we need to revise the damager anyway, because it's not even using the new damage system that we made. It just needs to check whether or not the payload target is the same as the behavior tree's target at that point. And we need to snapshot the behavior tree target at the start here. So that if it changes in the behavior tree, we're not suddenly like doing weird comparisons. Like, so if we just like snapshot that here, like cache it, and then we can use it to compare here, and then we need to deal damage. So we need to change a couple of things about like how projectiles are dealt with, is really what this comes down to. But we can do that on Thursday, and then we'll have all of the ally summons working. And then I think we only need to do a couple more like fun little magic spells that I want to do before I think we can do a full playtest of the entire game so far, to start like weeding out like small issues that I can find myself. By that time, my Steam Deck should also have arrived, so I can test the performance on Steam Deck, which is probably going to be horseshit. But we'll see. I ordered it today, so it should be here by the end of the week, or maybe start of next week. So I can start like testing that stuff, and also to see how it even like deals with Linux to begin with, because that's probably going to be not a lot of fun. And once I've done all of my own testing, there's finally going to be a public playtest. But that's probably going to be like halfway toward end December. So look forward to the public playtest going up as a Christmas present for you all. And for me, because it means that I have a bunch of feedback to work through at the start of the new year, probably. So looking forward to that. But before we get to that, there's still a lot of work to be done. And we'll be doing that starting like months ago. But we'll be continuing doing that. My brain's just turning off, man. We'll be continuing all that with the next set of Summoning Familiars on Thursday. So thanks everybody for joining and hanging out and having fun. And I'll be back same day, same time as always.